computer as well. Okay, so this was the other day, abruptly we ended meeting because I had some pain in my arm. So due to that, I abruptly ended. I'm very sorry for that. Okay, so are you seeing my screen? Yes, I think you are seeing the
Yes.
screen.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So the other day we created 3 different HTML pages, like home, then index. Okay, so these two we created the other day. Okay, we were showing some content in that. We created some page with some content in that. And we were discussing about what are semantic elements and what are non-semantic elements. Okay, semantic meaning is what? It has a pretty well-defined meaning. Non-semantic elements, they don't have actually a particular meaning. They are generic. Okay, for whatever purpose you want to use, you can use them. Okay, so both semantic and non-semantic. Prior to HTML5, we did not have any semantic elements. From HTML5 onwards, they introduced a concept called semantic elements. Okay, when you use semantic elements, it becomes easy for the SEOs, search engine optimization, or when somebody is going through your code, they can easily understand that. So that is the purpose of actually semantic element. Without using semantic elements also, you can do it. But in such cases, you have to depend on certain tags like div or span or form, input, okay, select. So these always we may not be using only semantic elements. We use combination of both semantic and non-semantic elements. Okay, so along with that, you have to be good with the CSS and JavaScript. Once again, let me uh, explain you. So first thing is here markup plus styling plus interaction is nothing but here modern web page. Okay, markup meaning is what? Markup is nothing but like you have a div tag. Okay, in the div tag, you put some content. You are marking up that content as division. So this part is called as markup. But you want to make it looking better. So for that, you have to use the styling. Like how much width you want to have, how much height you want to have, whether you want to add scroll bars or not, whether you want to have any background color or foreground color. Such things can be called as here styling. Okay, markup you do with the HTML elements and styling using CSS elements and interaction you can do with the help of the JavaScript. That means you can interact with the web page. You click somewhere on the page, something gets performed, or you want to hide some particular thing, you click on that, it gets hidden. So that is basically called as interaction. Okay, so these three together can be called as here modern web page. Markup, styling, and interaction. This is as per HTML, as per Web 2.0. Okay, we were discussing about HTML versions, or sorry, web versions or web generations. We had so far 3 generations: Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is also called as semantic web. Also, it is called as blockchain based. Blockchain based and semantic web, we call it. Further, we have definitions for Web 4.0 and 5.0, but they are not clearly defined so far. Who defines all these things? WWW, they define it. It's called as World Wide Web Consortium. Okay, it's called as World Wide Web Consortium. Similarly, you take JavaScript. Who defines actually the JavaScript? It is nothing but actually ECMA. Okay, ECMA stands for European Computers Manufacturer Association. They define standards for JavaScript. That means how the JavaScript language should be, what should be the features of JavaScript. So that is called as specifications or definition of the language. Okay, but implementation is done by the browsers. JavaScript separately, you don't install anything. It's part of actually browser, whether it is Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer or Edge or Safari, whatever browser you may use, the JavaScript is embedded within the like browsers. Okay, we need not separately install any JavaScript software, but you need to create your own JavaScript files that you can use in that. Okay, something like C. In the case of C language, first you need to install C language, then you write your code in the .c files. In the same manner, what happens in the case of C, you need to install separately C language. But in the case of JavaScript, it's part of browser. So who develop browser, they need to, integrate the JavaScript into that. Then only your pages can work. Otherwise, JavaScript in your pages cannot work. Okay. So in the case of C, what you do, you write your own code in .c. In the same manner, you may develop your own JavaScript that you are going to put in .js files. Okay. So further, in the React, we use JavaScript. In the Angular, we use, even in the like Vue.js also, we are going to use JavaScript. Okay. So JavaScript is going to be very, very basic in the case of web pages. Your web pages is basically made up of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you want to have interaction within the web page, you need definitely JavaScript. Okay. So JavaScript you can use for client side as well as for server side. These days, you have a language called Node.js. With the help of that, you can develop full stack JavaScript based application. Frontend can be JavaScript, backend also can be JavaScript. That you can do with the help of the Node.js. Okay. Otherwise, for backend, we use other languages. You can use Python Django, Python Flask, or you can use ASP.NET Core or ASP.NET, or you can use Python Spring, Python Spring Boot, or Java Spring or Java Spring Boot. You can use, so with that also you can develop server-side applications. You can use Go language, GoJin. In the Go, you have Buffalo. There are many frameworks in the Go language. With that, you can develop server-side code. Okay. Similarly, you have Ruby on Rails. It's called as ROR, or you can use Perl, or you can use PHP. There are many languages you can use for developing server-side code. Okay. So, therefore, here, as far as frontend is concerned, these three are important: markup, styling, and interaction. So when you go with markup, either you can use semantic elements or you can use the non-semantic elements. So today we look into various non-semantic elements. So first thing is what here you have a div element. An element is nothing but it contains both starting tag and ending tag. Not all elements. Only the elements which contain other things or which contain some content, they are going to be having both starting tag as well as ending tag. As far as div is concerned, you can create a div element like this. Div followed by, here it is /div. You are dividing a section of the page using div tag. Okay. And div is what type of element? It's a block level element. It is a block level element. That means they start always at a new line unless you style it. When by applying certain styles, you can put two div elements side by side. Otherwise, they are going to be starting at a new line always. So div is what? Div is nothing but here it is a block level element. Similarly, you have a paragraph. This is a block level element. It's called a paragraph. P stands for paragraph. Okay, you can go with paragraph of text, or inside that you can have other elements. This is called as here para or paragraph. So other one can be a table. When you talk about table, a table may contain, okay, a table may contain columns and rows. Okay, when you look at Excel table, you have in that case rows and columns. In the same manner, a table can contain both rows and columns. So a paragraph is going to be like this. You have a starting tag, you have a closing tag. Similarly, in the table, you have this way. Okay, so these are here. All these are block level elements. Similarly, H1 to H6, these are also nothing but block level elements. H1 through H6, we have 6 elements, headings, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So these are nothing but block level elements. We call them as block level elements. Similarly, we have here a span. Span is nothing but inline element. You can put two span elements side by side. Okay, span is actually an inline element. So inside this, you can contain other elements, or you can contain actually some text or some other images. So you can mark them up with the help of the span element. A span element contains both starting tag as well as ending tag. Okay. So if you look at this, the span contains both starting tag as well as ending tag. Like this, you have. But there are certain elements you don't have any starting or closing tag. One tag only you have. For example, you want to go with the HR. HR stands for a horizontal line or horizontal ruler. So in such case, we can define this way. This is called as here, this is called as basically non-container element. It's not going to contain any other inside this. Similarly, you have a BR. BR is nothing but break. We call like this. It is a break. It's going to be putting content in the next line. Between the two elements, when you put a BR, first element comes in the first line, next element is going to be coming in the next line. So like that, you can separate BR. If you simply press enter key in the HTML page, it doesn't have any effect. It is called as basically white space. It's called as white space. Even suppose you want to put more than one space in a particular, inside a particular element, it can take only one space, but it will not take more than one space. So in such cases, you have to use HTML, HTML entities, something like NB or SP, we call it, ampersand NB SP. So this is called as non-breaking space. We call this as non-breaking space. So like this, by using these things, what you do, you can create a HTML page, and the page is going to be rendering in the browser. Okay, all the browsers may not render in the same manner unless you define your own style. If you try to use default style, all the browsers may not be rendering the same page in the same manner. To make that cross-browser compatible, that means your page must be rendering consistently across browsers. You need to define your own styles. If you don't put any style, every browser has its own definition. For example, take div. For div, Chrome you take, Chrome has its own definition. If you go to Internet Explorer, it has own definition. Okay, so in such case, what you need to do, you have to define your own style to have consistent look and feel. Suppose in one browser, it's looking in one way, in the other browser, if it's looking in the other way, it doesn't look good. So you require consistency. So for that purpose, you must reset existing CSS, or you need to define your own CSS. Okay, own CSS, if you define, that can be consistent across the browsers. So browser consistency is very, very important when you develop applications. It's very, very important point. In one browser, it renders well. In the other browser, it may not render. So that is called as basically browser hacking. You need to hack the browser elements, and in that case, what happens? It can render across browsers in a consistent manner, in a consistent fashion. So I mean, creating cross-browser compatible web pages are very, very important. Okay, then only you can have wider audience. And when you create a web page, so it should be, I mean, looking very good. Then only clients can come. The visitors can come again and again. They can visit. If they have any difficulty in visiting, in seeing that or in understanding content, definitely next time they are not going to visit. So UI is also very, very important. But as programmers, we may not focus much on the UI because that is a part of the designers. Okay, designers, they design, they are actually specialized in the designing part. So we take their help, but we need to know the basics of the like design as well as HTML and JavaScript. So definitely designers, they are not going to write much JavaScript code. We need to write JavaScript as front-end developers, but we need not bother much about actually styling and those things because that is done by the designers. They are actually specialists in that. They can create good looking designs for us. That we cannot do. I often compare this with a makeup man and director. You take a movie, okay, in the case of movie, you take a director knows about everything. Okay, but makeup man knows about only makeup. That means whether it's hero or heroine or other actors, what they do, they give a good makeup. So with that, they are going to be looking good. But director is going to, director knows about makeup. Okay, similarly, the director knows about other things. Then only that can be movie. So in this way, if you are a coder, you have to be like a director, not just like a makeup man. You should not focus much on design part, in my opinion. You need to focus more and more on coding, but you need to know about the design aspects as well. how things work, you need to know, but you should not become a designer in the long run. Okay, so now we are going to look into these various tags, how you can make them, and also we are going to look into certain CSS. Okay, so first let us start with the CSS. Now let me create here some other page. I'm going to create some other page here. Let me create in this case. Okay, HTML with styles. You need to always end, you need to have an extension either .htm or HTML. Okay, you should have extension either .html or .htm. Now I'm going to create here a new document. If you can do parallelly also, that would be good. As I do, if you can practice, really that's going to be something like boot camp. It's going to be a practice for you. So first thing is what here, you need to go with the doc type declaration. It is doc type. Automatically you are marking it as a HTML5. It's going to be like HTML5. So if you don't put here doc type HTML, or if you put something like HTML 4.0 or 4.01, in that case, some of the elements in the document may not work. Okay, some of the elements may not work. Something like video, audio, they may not be working. So clearly you have to mark that this belongs to HTML5. Next step is what in this, you need to create here the top level element called HTML. So this is the top level element. Some of the editors, what they do, as soon as you type the starting tag, they automatically, here create for you ending element. So as soon as I typed here HTML, it's automatically creating for me the ending tag. So we created here now the starting element or root level element or root element. This is called as here root element. A HTML page looks like actually XML. Okay, it looks like XML. It's in the XML format, in fact. Okay, XML has only one root. Here also in the HTML page, we should have only one root. You cannot have multiple HTML root elements. We should have only one root element that is called as HTML. And inside this now you have two sections. One is head, other one is body. Okay, one is head, other one is going to be here body. So in the head, you define CSS, you define here, you import actually JavaScript files or CSS files. Similarly, you can define your own script here, or you can define your own style. So defining styles and script are not limited to only header part. Even you can put within the body. Within the body also, you can define it. Okay, if you want to define in the header, you can define, or if you want to define in the body, you can define it. But they have to be demarcated. That means you have to define using style starting tag and style ending tag. Now let me come to this point here and show you. So how to define certain styles here. Okay, I want to define here some styles, and I'm going to define in this case. Okay, here style. As far as HTML is concerned, we need not put this type equal to, earlier we used to use here text oblique CSS. So something like this we used to put, but now this is not required. Style type equal to text oblique CSS. Okay, this attribute is not required. So this is called as here attribute. Because this has attribute, this attribute is no longer required. Just you can start with style tag and you can end. No attribute is required in that case. Now let me define here some CSS. And when I talk about CSS here, you can have three types of styling. One is here element based. Second thing is class based. Class based. Okay, similarly, the other one is ID based. Okay, you can have three types of styles, and this is here exactly commenting. I put comment above the style here. Okay, now there is no error here. The editors even they show errors for us. As soon as you type here, if something is wrong, it's going to show error in the red color. You can immediately correct it. Okay, so element based, class based, other one is what here, ID based. You can have three types of styles here. Element meaning is what? suppose I have a paragraph. For paragraph, I want to define certain styles. Okay, paragraph must be having some color, like it is, I want to go with the red color. Okay, here as far as red is concerned, either you can use the text or you can go with the hexadecimal notation. Okay, what I do here, colon, then followed by hash key, then I type here FFF. It is going to be white here. So it is going to be RGB basically, red, green, and blue. Okay, red component can be having a value from 0 to 255. Then blue component can have here, green can have from 0 to 255. And G also, green can be having RGB, blue can be having 0 to 255. So here I can go with the hexadecimal notation. I want to go only with the red. Therefore, I type here FF followed by 0000. So this is equal to red color. You can see automatically. So this is called as here hexadecimal notation. Okay. So basically, whenever we talk about RGB, RGB is basically used with the screens. Okay, when you are doing something with the screen, we use RGB. Even if you take your TV, you have this RGB pixels, you have red component, green component, and blue component. Or value you can have from 0 to 255. Similarly, green can have 0 to 255. Similarly, the blue can have 0 to 255. So in varying, when all of them are 0, it is nothing but black color. When all of them are actually 255, it's going to be white color. Okay, when you change the values, for example, for red you take 255, for G you take some other value, for green if you take some other value, you are going to get different color combinations. So basically RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Whenever you show something on the screen, you need to follow this RGB color model. But when you are printing something, you need to go with the like this. This is Cyan. Okay, CMT something I think we have. So in that case, it's going to be in the printing. Whenever you are printing something, you are going to use here black followed by cyan, magenta. Okay, so one more thing is cyan, magenta, and one more color they use. So this is called as subtractive. It's called as basically subtractive colors. Okay, where these are additive colors. These are called as additive, and these are called as basically subtractive colors. Cyan, magenta, and one more color I could not remember that. So with that we basically make it yellow. Okay, so it is yellow. It is called as CMYK. CMYK. Okay, so this is like CMYK stands for here cyan, magenta, yellow, and K is actually this is called as black. Whenever you're printing something on the screen, this color composition we use. So that's why whatever you see on the screen, when you try to print in the same manner, you never get. You are not going to get in the same manner. Okay, slight difference you have. And here we use chemicals. We are going to use chemicals. We use dye. With the help of that, it gets printed. Okay, but here in this case, it's on the screen. It follows RGB, red, green, and blue. With that it comes. Okay, so here I'm using red component as FF, that means 255. This is exactly in the hexadecimal notation. In the hexadecimal notation, we can use characters from 0 to digits from 0 to F. You take decimal, we use 0 to 9. Okay, if you take octal system, we use 0 to 7. And if it is septal system, in that case, we use 0 to 6. And when it is hexadecimal, we use 0 to F here. Okay, after 9, 10 is called as A, 11 is called as B, 12 is called as C, then 12, 13 is called as D, 14 is called as E, and 15 is called as F. So F meaning is what here? 15 value. Value is nothing but here 15. So when you go with the FF, it is going to be 255, equal to 255. So we use here hexadecimal notation, or you can go with the named color. This is what with hexadecimal we are representing. Otherwise, you can go with the like name, red, green, blue, but remembering all those can be difficult. So that's why you can go with the hexadecimal notation. Okay, so next thing is what, how much width you want to take. I want to go here with the width, something like 400 or some 600 px I take here. I'm going to use here 600 px. Similarly, I want to go with certain border. I want to put around this some borders. Okay, I can go here with the border, followed by here. I can put in this manner some 3px. Border is going to be 3px, then followed by here solid. I want to have a solid border. Next thing is color. I want to make it as something like black. So in this manner, I can define. And this is called as here rule set. We call this as here rule set. Okay. And this is called a selector. So with selector, you are defining with a rule set here. In the case of rule set, what is happening? So this is paragraph element selector. You have a curly bracket here starting, and you have a curly bracket closing here. So first property is what here? Color, and its value is this. Second property is width here, its value 600px. And third property is your border. It is going to be 3px width, then solid, and one more thing is what here? Black. Even the border can be dashed sometimes. You can have a dashed border, but here we are going with the solid border. So I'm going to define paragraph like this. But when I define something like this in this manner, what is the disadvantage? Let us see. Okay, I go here with the P, then inside this, I can put some content. Okay, so let me go here and try to put some text in this case. Okay, so when it comes here, I want to take some text in this case. It is something like, I want to take here. Okay, so I just take some text and try to copy from this. Not available here. Okay. Have to take a copy. Okay, so some text I have here. I would like to copy this text if they allow me. Not allowing. Okay. Page. Still it's loading. Because of that, I could not copy. Very slow loading this is. Page should not take this much time to load. They have too many elements in this. Because of that, it is loading very, very slow. Still, you can see it is doing in this manner. Okay, so it should not take this much time. So user has bad experience. Within some 2 to 3 seconds, a page must be loaded always. We need to optimize always like that. Otherwise, users go away. So this principle we need to remember always. And they are not allowing anything to copy. Okay, let us go with something else and try to see here. Okay, at least can I copy now? I could copy these things. So I try to put in the tag here in the paragraph tag. Again, I try to put something like this. Multiple times I'm copying and pasting. So how it looks, see. What I was doing here. So with this kind of styling, okay. How I define style here. So for paragraph, this is called as element-based styling. For all paragraph elements, automatically this gets applied here. P color is red color with 600px, border 3px, solid black I have taken. Okay, so now this must be getting rendered for me on the screen. When I launch this one, this must be getting rendered. But what is the disadvantage we have? See with this. Okay, I can come to this. Then here, just now I created some page. What is the name of the page here? This is HTML with styles. Okay, let me launch this here. In this manner, it is looking for us. It is looking in this manner. Okay, even you can see here HTML with styles.html. The page name is coming. Title is not shown for us. What is the disadvantage with this? Now you try to resize. When you resize, what is happening? Some of the text actually you are losing in this case. When you try to resize, some of the text we are losing in this case. Automatically, it's not wrapping into next line. If you see here, for example, you see here groovy and rhythm. Okay. I just try to come there. Rhythm is not coming in the next line for me. Automatically it should come in the next line. So what is happening? Some of the content you are losing. Okay, some of the content you are losing because the style actually is not correct in this case. Okay, the width, if you take, you are showing the pixels. The other day I was saying you can have different breakpoints. The devices can be extra small, then medium, then large and extra large. You can have 5 different widths because the web page can be rendered in any kind of device. It can be mobile phone, it can be tablet, it can be a small laptop, or it can be a bigger laptop. That means more width you have. It can be a desktop computer, or it can be a computer which has actually a lot of width. Okay, so in such case, what is happening? If width is more, there is no problem. But when width is less, if you are going with extra small, in that case, you face a problem here. You are going to face a problem when width is actually small. Okay, so in such case, what we should do? We should go with percentage. In that case, consistently in all the browsers, in all devices, it can render. So instead of going with the 600px, now what I do here, I go with the 60%. I'll put here 60%, then I save. After that, I try to refresh here, this one, then try to again do. Automatically, what is happening in this case? Text is getting wrapped into next line. You can see automatically whenever it's not fitting in this width, it is getting here, coming into next line. So this kind of thing is called as responsive design. You are designing, you are creating a web page which is responsive to any kind of device. Okay, whether it is actually extra small device, extra small or small device, or it is medium or large, extra large, whatever kind of device it may be, automatically text can be getting rendered. So this is called as here responsive design. Okay, that's why you try to use here percentage. Don't go with the exact pixels. You try to use here percentage. Similarly, I want to go here with some font size. Okay, I can go here with the font size. Then here, what I say is 40. I would like to type here px. The size must be 40 px. Let me again refresh. So it is looking much bigger. It is looking bigger depending on the device. Sometimes this has to be like changing. Okay, we are bothering about width only. Suppose the size has to be changing depending on the device. So in that case also this should be getting rendered proper. So for that purpose, you have to use here again percentage. I go here and try to type something like 10%. I want to make this as 10%. It is looking very small. Okay, but here size is not changing for us. Font size is not changing. Whenever height comes into scenario, in that case, it will be useful. We are not using any height in this case. We are not using any height in this case. Okay, and if the font is not legible, then there is no point in that case. Here font is not clearly legible. If you go with the 10%, no point in that case. So let us go here with some 20%. What happens? See. Or some 30% I take and try to refresh here. Okay, I need to save this 30% also, not showing properly. Some 60% I take and try to show this. Okay, now it is looking somewhat bigger. Font is looking actually little bigger here. Okay, so like this, depending on the height, sometimes you have to go with a smaller font. But as far as height is concerned, I mean, the height can go to any extent. If you scroll down in the bottom, you can go to any extent, no problem. We need to bother always about the width only. Okay, you need to bother about always width. So there is no problem with the height because you can scroll down to any extent. So we need to bother always about the width only. Okay, so with font also you can use here the percentage. Whenever possible, if you go with the percentage, that is going to be looking much better. And next thing, we have a border here. There is a border here. Okay, so there is a border coming up. Whenever, I mean, it is getting resized, even if you can change border size, that would be good. So in such case, what we do, we go with the 3%. What happens? See now here in this case. Okay, I'm going with the 3%. It is not at all seen here. When you go with the 3%, it's not shown. So we have to say here just 3, border 3 I'm giving. Now let me once again see here, it's not coming up. So earlier, what did I keep here? Px. So pixels, definitely we need to specify here. We need to go with the pixels and you need to specify that. In such case, it looks. Okay, for certain things you can use percentage and for others you may not use. Okay, so that as you practice more and more, you can get clear idea on that. But always you must make a responsive web design. So wherever possible, you need to go with the percentage, whether it is width or height, even with other things, you have to use the percentage. And this is what here paragraph. For this style is getting applied automatically because this is called as here element based styling. You can go styling with the element based or class based, or it can be ID based. Now I go with one more paragraph here. What happens? See, here I go with another paragraph. Okay, this is second paragraph. I type second para. So what happens in this case now? Automatically same style gets applied. It takes like color, same color. It takes same width, and it's going to be having a border even. Now try to render this here in the browser. You got again same thing. Okay, same kind of thing you got here. Same kind of border you have, same text you have, same width you have. Because you define a style for entire paragraph here. How many types you create new paragraph elements, same is going to be getting applied. This is called as here element based. Okay, we call this as element based styling here. All the elements contain now, all the paragraphs are going to have same kind of styling here. Okay, same kind of styling you have here. But sometimes what happens, you want to override some of the things you want to override here. Okay, some of the things, suppose color I want to change in this case from this paragraph to this paragraph. Okay, only I want to change color. I don't want to change anything else. I want to change just color. So what I do here, I can go with the inline styling. Okay, only for that element it works. This is called as inline styling. So I can write here style equal to color followed by here. I type this as green. Okay, I want to put this as here green. So now what happens for this particular element, you are going to override the color. Okay, this is called as here internal styling, and this is called as here inline styling. Along with the element, when you define a style, it's called as inline. But for the entire document, when you try to go with a style, this is called as here internal styling. Within the document, when you define a style, this is called as internal. But when with particular element, when you define a style, this is called as inline styling. So inline styling, internal styling, external styling, and one more thing, default styling. So that's why this is called as cascading style sheets. We call it as CSS. So CSS meaning is what here? Cascade style sheet. So what happens here? What happens here when you don't apply any style? Automatically, whatever style is available in the browser, that gets applied. Okay, but when you define a style, inline styling like this style is going to take, control. So with this particular style, it is going to be getting rendered. This has highest precedence, or it has highest importance than in internal styling. Then after that, external styling, when none of them are available, automatically default style gets applied. So that's why we call it as cascading style sheet. So now when you render here, for this, the color is going to be which color? Green color you have. Okay, let us render this. You get in the green color. But other things are not getting disturbed. You see here, there is no disturbance as far as other styles are concerned. Border is same, width is same. Similarly, if you want to override some width here, you can override the width. Width, you can take this one as here, some 30%. Okay, now I go with the 30% width, how it looks, see. Only 30% width it is taking in this case. Similarly, I want to go here I want to go with some scroll bars. Okay, I want to automatically apply some scroll bars whenever text is not fitting in the certain given height. So I go here with the height attribute even. Within the style attribute, one of the properties is going to be here height. So height is here in this case 30%. I don't take here for this 30%, but I go here with the 200 px. 200 pixels I am taking in this case. Okay. Then after that, what happens? See here. Same thing I copy and paste again here. This is going to be coming in the green color. Okay, I put this here. Now, just see how this looks. What is happening here? The border is up to this only, but it's getting overlapped. Okay, even after border, this is getting printed because you have so much text. So in such case, to limit the text to this particular paragraph or to this particular area, you need to add the scroll bars. So come to this point and try to add the scroll bars here. Okay, this is what second paragraph we have here. So in the second paragraph, we need to add the scroll bars. So what exactly this is? Overflow. It is Y. We call this as overflow Y, followed by here scroll. Okay, we are going to scroll in this case. Now refresh this here. It is going to be getting now scroll bars. You can see here scroll bars in this region only. This is getting displayed. And this is called as here inline styling. Okay, inline styling. Here we defined a new rule, that is what overflow Y scroll. That means what vertically it is going to scroll. You have two things, overflow Y and overflow X. Okay, whenever the text is not fitting in the given screen, I mean horizontally, in such case you can go with the overflow X. But whenever it is not fitting in vertically in the given box type, so in such case you need to go with the overflow Y. Scroll meaning is what it is going to add the scroll bars. So this is called as here inline style. And whereas this is what internal styling. Okay, this is called as here internal styling, and this is called as here inline styling. So this is applicable to only one particular element. It is not available everywhere, but this style if you take in the current page, wherever you have paragraphs, they are going to be using it. Unless you specify some other style using some class or using some ID, this gets applied. Okay, this is called as here internal styling, and for all paragraph elements, this is applicable here. So this is called as here element based styling. You can define a style in the CSS. Automatically, whatever paragraph elements you create, they take these particular styles, unless you override them using inline styling. Here we are overriding the previous one using inline styling. Suppose you go with one more paragraph here. Okay, same thing I take and put here another paragraph. So in that case, how it looks, see. I come to this point and then I put here this one. So now how this is going to look? So it is going to be using same red color, because for the second one I have overridden. Style was overridden for the second element, but for the third element it's not overridden. So it's going to use the same style which we defined here. So both first paragraph and second paragraph have the same style, but second one here we are overriding using inline styling. Okay, this is called inline styling. So this is having highest precedence. After this, it is going to have internal styling, then external style, after that default style. When none of them are available, it goes with the default style. That means default style meaning is what whatever style is defined in the browser for the paragraph, automatically that gets applied. Okay, like this, what we do, we are trying to make actually the content looking better. So for that, you have to define the styles. So what style? This is what element based style for paragraph. Now I want to go here with the class based. I can define a class based style, something like this. I can put here P, okay, followed by, I want to define the paragraph here. So I go with the width. This is 40%. Okay, for same paragraph, I'm trying to do this. This is what here, I can even put dot para. Okay, class based styles you can define using dot symbol first, then followed by the style name, class name, sorry, the class name. So in this class, you are going to define the rules for the styling. Width 40% we have taken. The next thing is here, font size. I can go here with the larger style I want to take here. This is going to be here, larger size. The next thing here it is, okay, next thing is going to be background color I want to use. Okay, background color here in this case, this is like blue. Or I can go here with the red color. Red color background I can use. Color is going to be here white. Color is here white. Okay, I'm defining this color as white here. So next, now I have defined just now some paragraph. This time I want to go with the class. Class equal to here, I want to type this as para. So when you look at the third paragraph, this time it's going to be rendering with a different kind of thing. So just refresh. What is happening here? It is changing now. Okay, it is changing in this case. It is shown in this banner for us. Okay, background color is white, forecolor is red. Background color is red, forecolor is here white. Then similarly, the width is also less when compared with the original paragraph. Okay, so it is the width is different from the when compared with the paragraph here. So like this is called as here class based. You can define a class. That class you can apply here in this. So this is called as here class based styling. Even this can be overridden using the style. Along with the class, even you can go with the style here. So in the style, what I write color, I want to go with the black in this case. I would like to go with the black color. This must be coming with the black color here. So let us refresh this. Now what happens? See in this. Okay, even class-based styling also you can override using inline styling mechanism. It is called as inline styling. This has highest precedence. Then after that only it's going to be, work with the internal styling. So basically inline styling, internal styling, and external styling. So external style meaning is what you are going to define a style in a different page or in a different file. So let me create here some CSS file. It is okay, external.css. Name can be anything, styles or external, whatever it is. I'm trying to define that. And now in this case for div, I want to define a div. Then here, okay, I'm going to define here a div. For the div, I'm going to define, okay, just write here color. This is blue. Okay, then this width, I can go here with the say some 40%. Okay, then I want to go here with the float left. I'll take like this. Okay, with 40% I have taken, float left I have taken. Similarly, I want to define a class here, dot division. Then here, color, I go with the red here. Now similarly, the width is 50%. Okay, so I want to define only these two things. This is what element based and this is again class based, but they are in the external.css file. Now I want to refer these. For referring them, I come to earlier piece of code. So what was the earlier piece of code I created just now? Just now I created some styles. Okay. I can come to this one. So in this, I would like to refer that particular style sheet. In a different file, I have saved. So here I go with the link followed by href equal to dot followed by slash. Here, what is the CSS file available? So that CSS file I use. Okay. Now this is available for me. Rel equal to, you need to put this style sheet. Rel equal to style sheet. So with this, I'm going to here open the CSS file. I'm going to load the external CSS file into this current document. Okay, now I come to this point and try to define a div here. After paragraph, I define here some div, but before that, I want to put some line. Similarly, I want to go here with the HR, horizontal ruler. Then I go with the div. Okay, inside the div, I would like to paste some text here. So up to this, I would like to paste in this. So how this looks, let us see now. If you come to bottom of the page, you can see this with the blue color. I have given width, but I haven't given any border. So how it is looking? like without border, this is shown for me here. Okay, it's not showing any border. I can apply the border now. Some border I can put here. So this here I take this as border. Okay, followed by here 1 px. Then this is solid. Or I can go here with the dash it. Instead of going with the solid, I can go with the dash it. Okay, dash it line I'm going to have in this. Now let me refresh. Okay, you can see here a dashed border for this. All dashes you have in this case. Width is how much here? 1 px I have taken, and this is going to be having here a dashed border. Okay, so this is div I have defined in the external style sheet. Okay, now what I want to do in this page, to the right side of this, because width is only width is only 40%. Okay, so this time I want to define here one more like div to the right side of this. To the right side of this, I want to define here one more div. So I put here div, then class equal to, here I can type this as division. Okay, class is division. Then inside this, I paid save text again. How this looks, let us see. Now you can see both divs I am keeping side by side. How it is coming side by side? Normally they don't come side by side. They try to use entire width available. Okay, here what I do, I am going with the, what I do here in this case, I have taken width equal to 40% and float left. On the screen, it should come in the left side. And next div, if you take here, I have taken width 50%. Since space is available, it is coming to the right side of this. When you compare with this right side, you are getting it. So what exactly you are doing? You are putting same in the, I mean, both the divs in the same line. Inline, you are putting it. It is not wrapping it to next line since space is available. Okay, but if I make this as some 70%, in that case, it will not come. If you try to make this as 70%, automatically it goes into next line. Let us refresh this, where you can see now in the bottom of this, you can find it because it is using 70%. Here, how much it is 40%, rest is how much is 60%, but we are going with a, width of 70%. So therefore, it will not be available. Okay. So one other thing here, what I do, I undo what I've done earlier. Okay. Next thing, I come here, then try to resize the page. When you resize page, what is happening? Still, you're not losing content in that case. Okay, you're not losing content. They're getting adjusted automatically. So this is called as here responsive design. What we are doing is here responsive design. So this way we could arrange. So always try to use percentages. And other thing is what side by side I am showing both the divs. Normally, if space is enough, it comes automatically. When space is not enough, it goes into next line. How you can tell that for this div space is available? By using with the first div width equal to 40%. Okay, when you say width equal to 40%, automatically, rest of the space it's available. So next div can take the available space. So this way you can arrange even side by side the divs. Yeah, anyone has any questions?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
External means we have to create another file, sir, another page.
Yes. In the other file, you need to put define the styles and you need to refer in the current document. So where is the current document? This is the
okay.
This is the current document. In this, we are referring it using link tag.
Okay. Default means if you are not mentioning any size or color or border,
yes,
by default it will be displaying.
Default it gets applied automatically. That is available in the browser.
Okay.
Browser defines style for every element. Okay. So automatically from browser, it takes when you don't define anything. But since you defined here, these are getting applied.
These colors, sir, you have mentioned like hash FF000.
Yes.
Can we type any number or any alphabet like that, or
Not any
better to
alphabet,
mention
only
color like
hexadecimal
green,
you can
yellow?
type. Only hexadecimal. Here you see, because when you go with, this is basically nothing but a number, but we are showing in the hexadecimal notation. When we talk about
Yes.
hexadecimal, what are the values it can take? It can take values from 0 to F. Because in the hexadecimal, you have 16 digits. In the decimal system, you have only 10 digits, 0 to 9. When you work with the hexadecimal, you have digits from 0 to 15. 0 to 15, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to how many? Then A,
9.
B, C, D, E, F. So you have total 16 digits, 0 to F they are called as. One question I ask you, why we mostly depend on the decimal number system? Why not? Why we haven't chosen any other number system, octal system or septal system or hexadecimal, okay, or duodecimal? Why we started using only decimal number system? Can there be any reason for that? Most of the time in our day-to-day life, we use digits 0 to 9 to mention the numbers. Okay, we use only these symbols 0 to 9. These are nothing but symbols or digits. We use only them. Why don't we use any other symbols like why not 0 to 7? Because we have 7 days in a week. We could have gone with the 0 to 6. Okay, you have actually 12 months. In that case, 0 to 11, we should have used it. Why we are using only 0 to 9? What could be the reason? The basic reason for that is, when there was no mathematics or when there was no counting system, people used to count using fingers. Okay, even still in the advanced age, sometimes when you go to market or when you are going somewhere, when no device is available, even though you have phone in your hand, with phone also you can calculate, but you don't find time to get the phone into hand. So in such case, you count using fingers. This is quite common. Since we had 10 fingers in our hands, we started using base 10 system. This is the historical reason. See, today, whatever we may be using, there is a reason for that. Based on that reason only we do, that is called as basically tradition. We call this as tradition. So tradition meaning actually interpreted in the different ways. But here, as far as counting is concerned, this is our tradition. So using fingers, we basically count. So same system we brought into mathematics. Since we have 10 fingers, we started using 10 symbols. So 0 to 9, how many symbols there are? There are 10 symbols.
10.
So we got accustomed to this kind of counting. We use only 10 symbols. But when it comes to mathematics, we can go with the octal system, septal system, duodecimal system, or hexadecimal system, or decimal system. So when it goes with the hexadecimal, in that case, you can use digits from 0 to 15. So total 16 symbols you can use. Here, you cannot use any alphabet. You can use up to 0 to 9, or you can use A to F. Like that you can make. Now I can put something different here. How it looks, see. I can go here with the CF, then followed by 0, 0. How this looks, you have a different color now. When I render this, how it is going to come, see here. With this color you are getting here, the color got changed. So it is always going to be hexadecimal notation, or you can say named one. Named one is nothing but like blue, red, green, like that you can specify. So here again I go with the something like CC I put. Okay, the color is going to change again. More thicker this time it is. Okay, it's going to be more and more thicker. So like this you got. So this way what is happening, you can refer the colors in the hexadecimal notation, or it can be in the decimal notation. Either of these you can use. Okay, so in the external style sheet, we define the styles. That styles we are applying in the current document. Need not be always in the external style sheet or external file. When same styles you are going to apply in more than one page, in that case define in the external style sheet, then try to use same styles across number of pages. Okay, but only in the current page you want to use certain styles. Define at the style level, it's called as internal style. Internal styling means in the same page they are going to be available. Okay, but if you want to use particular style only with one particular element, in that case go with the inline styling. This is called as here inline styling. Only with this element this is going to work. But inside a document when you define a style, this same style you can use for more than one element, that is for paragraph element you can use. Okay, so but when you define in the external style sheet in more than one file you can use it. That means you have more than one HTML page, In all those HTML base, if you want to use same style, in that case, you can define in the external style sheet that you can refer in the various documents. So the purpose is here differently. We can the purpose are different. When you want to use same styles in different pages, you can define an external style sheet. Then you can apply the style for all the pages with the same element. Okay. But suppose if you want to use the same style for more than one element of same type in the current document, go with the internal styling. Here, internal styling this is. But if you want to use a particular style only with particular elements, in that case, go with the inline. This is called an inline. So like this, you can define styles and you can use as per the requirement. Any other question? Okay. So like this, we have created here. This is what first thing is here, element based. This is class based. One more is here, ID based. Based on the ID also, you can define. Okay, so based on the ID, like img div, I put. I'm going to put some image here, img div. Then here, I go with the width, say some 50%. Okay, 50% I put for this. I want to go here with the border, say some 10px followed by solid. I'm defining here two different, there are two rules set in this case, width 50%, border 10px and solid. Okay, we have here two things. In this particular selector, you have this is attribute and this is value. This attribute here again, this is going to be value here. So image div is going to be here, again, ID based. Here I want to define a new div. Okay, class equal to, I can put this as not class here. I don't want to use any class here, ID based. ID equal to img div. Okay, why we use ID? Later on we understand about it. Now inside this, I want to go with the image. Image, then src equal to, in this case, dot followed by, I can go with some image file here if it is available. Okay, tiger.jfif. So like this. One more thing is here, all text you can use. When this image is not available, we can say that image is missing. Like this, we can put. So we are going to show here the image. Only with one particular ID, we should use this. Okay. This div is having this ID. ID is nothing but a variable name. We are going to identify in a unique way this particular div. So div ID equal to img div I kept here. Now let me come to this, then here refresh. In the bottom of the screen, we got this particular image. We are getting this image here in the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now when we resize, what happens? Let us see here in this. It is getting resized, automatically getting resized without losing any content. Okay, this is going to be available only with this element here. Only with this particular division, it is available for us. Okay, now if you want to move this into next line, you can go with the BR, with the break tag, you can show in the next line this particular thing. Let us refresh. Okay, so it is saved. We have saved it. Fine. Just try to go this way. Okay, when I go here with the div, what is the image div width I have taken here? I am using some 50%. Let me go here with the 90% here. What will happen? Now we are going to see in this. Now it is coming in the next line here. It is coming in the next line. Okay, so when we resize, we don't have any change in this case. We are getting all the content in that case. Okay, when you go with the percentage, that is the advantage you have. So like this here, this is called as ID based. This is element based, this is class based, and this is called as your ID based. Okay, It is element based, this is class based, and this is what here ID based. Here, all the paragraph elements, if you don't use any style or if you don't use any class, in that case, automatically this style gets applied. Okay. In the case of dot para, we need to explicitly say that class equal to the para. If you come down here, we have defined class equal to division. So based on that, it is going to be working. Okay, class equal to division when you say, but this is external. It's going to be external here. But in somewhere other area, we have used the class equal to para. Okay, class equal to para. So this particular style is getting applied automatically. Similarly, when you go with the image div, it is actually internal again. Internal style, this is, so it is getting applied with the last div here. It is image div. Here we are going to show image. It is going to use here 90% of the screen. Suppose this image is not available. What happens? See, here there is an image. But if you specify image which is not available, what happens? See. Now refresh here in this case. It says image is missing. This is called as here alternate text. When image is not available, it's going to print that. When image is available, no problem. The image comes, but when image is not available, in that case, it's going to print image is missing. Now image is available, because of that, it comes here. Okay, so this way, we defined here 3 different styles. A paragraph, like element based, similarly a class based. One more thing is here, div based. Also, we have seen how inline styles work, how inline styles they are going to work. Okay, how internal styles are working, and how external style we created and we are using. It is external.css. So from that we are using this. From that, those styles we are using in the current document by referring the style sheet here. Link href equal to dot/external.css, rel equal to style sheet. With the help of that, we could do it. Okay, so these paragraph and div, they are called as here block level elements. They are called as here block level elements. Okay, similarly, we have other types of elements. The other types of elements are going to be like input element, with which we are going to input element, input data. Okay, so input elements are going to be like text boxes, check boxes. Okay, similarly, we have like drop down, also radio buttons. Then similarly, buttons. Okay, so these are going to be input elements. Sometimes even you have the hidden fields. Hidden field is not going to be shown. Okay, so these are going to be input elements. There you can input. If it is text box, you can type. If it is checkbox, you can check or uncheck. If it's a drop down, you can pick from the drop down. If it's radio button, again, you can check. If it's a button, you can click on that. So something happens with that. There are hidden fields actually. So into that you cannot input, but it can hold a value which is not visible. So like this, you can have the input elements. And apart from that, you have a form element. In the form element, it is like a normal form. Whatever data you have in the form, that can be submitted to server. Okay, you can fill the data in the form, entire form you can submit to server. So server side code must be running in that case. Either it is Python code or Java code or C# code, or some code should be running. So then only the servers, the data can be sent to server. You have a form. On the form you fill data. When you click on the submit, it goes to server side. There should be some server side agent which you may create using Python Django, Python Flask, or using ASP.NET C# web forms, or it can be ASP.NET C#, ASP.NET Core C#. It can be Razor Pages or MVC. Okay. Similarly, you may have something like Java-based actual JSP pages, or you may use some Spring Boot. With the help of that, you may create some kind of server-side mechanism. With that, you can accept data from the front end. So like that, some agent is required in the server side. So you can send data from here, it goes there. Like that, you have input elements, text boxes, check boxes, drop down, radio buttons, hidden fields. So let us see those things now. Okay, now here I want to create another page. I call this as form.html. Okay, I want to create this. So very first thing is doc type declaration. Followed by here, HTML. Then this is head. Then you have here body. Okay, then here in this case, you can go with the like the form elements we create. So first I go with the H4, then try to like registration form. I want to name this as registration form here. Followed by, I need to go with the form tag. Then here, okay, form, you have certain attributes. Method equal to, you can go with the post method. You're going to post data. Similarly, action equal to whatever action it is. That means whatever agent you are calling, that agent name you need to specify here. Or whatever method in the server side you are going to call, you are going to send to that particular method the data. So that you need to specify here. Okay. So then like this, we create the form. So inside the form, now you can create here various elements. First, I take here input type equal to text. Okay, type equal to text. Here, enter name. Enter name. So we can enter a name here. Similarly, input this type equal to text. Okay, it is going to be showing a text box. Similarly, select gender. So in the case of select gender, I can go here with the radio button. Input type equal to here radio. Okay, type equal to radio. Followed by here, I need to go with the name equal to, it is male. Okay, first one, this is. Similarly, I go here with ampersand NBSP. Once again, I go with ampersand NBSP. Then here, I take one more input. This is input type equal to radio. That this is here female. Like this, I can put. But before this, you need to have here some kind of text. With that, we can get it. This is what, like this, I can create. So this is called as your input element. They are starting with the input followed by type equal to text and here type equal to radio. Okay. Similarly, select like here. Okay, not select. Am above 18. Like this, I put. Followed by here, I can go with the input type equal to checkbox. Okay, you can go here with the type equal to checkbox. Then I can close this. Okay, all of them are coming in the same line. Okay, to move them into next line, I should use here some BR tag. If I don't use BR, they are going to be coming in the same line here. Okay, BR tag. And here also I put BR tag. It is nothing but break moves into next line. Okay, followed by language I spoke like this. Okay, this is select language which you speak. Like this. Followed by here, I want to go with the select here. There's select. Okay, in the select, I can specify now different types of languages. So this is going to be select option value equal to here. Select. Okay, this is selected by default. This is selected here. Then it is select. Okay, similarly, next thing, what I choose in this case, I can go here with this and try to type this as, this is English. Okay, English, and I put this as English here. It's English. In the same way, I can go here with the type like Tamil. So it is Tamil. Next one is going to be like Hindi. I put this as Hindi. So this is exactly a drop down. Select is nothing but here a drop down. I can choose here some, I can choose from this either English or Tamil or Hindi. Next one, here it is a button. I can go here with a button. So here it is input type equal to, this is submit, is 1. Similarly, here I need to put value equal to submit. Okay, submit, this is the next one. In the same line, I want to put, therefore, I go with the ampersand NBSP. Similarly, NBSP. Okay, once again, I take one more NBSP here, non-breaking space. Then here I go with input type equal to, it should be submit completely. Okay, submit type equal to here reset. Okay, followed by here value equal to reset. Okay, so like this, I created here a form. This is nothing but a registration form I'm creating here. So this data I want to send to server side, but we haven't written server side code. So it will not work now. You cannot send anything, but just you can see here the page. Now come to this, this is form.html. Okay, now I go to form.html. From there, I should do it. You can get screen like this here. Enter name, KVR. You can choose any one thing from this, either this or this. You cannot choose both. Only one you need to choose. So something is missing. Because of that, we get either it is checking or unchecking. Okay. Similarly, you can choose some language from this. Even for Hindi, I think it is selected. So because of that, we get in that manner. When you click on the reset, everything will be getting cleared. So there is something wrong here. Selected equal to I have chosen. So this is wrong. I cannot use selected for all the things, only for one. I should select it. Simply I copied and pasted. Because of that, everything is getting selected. Last one is Hindi. So that's why it is getting selected. Now, similarly, when you go with the radio button, okay, name equal to male and name equal to female, I should not take, even this also must be male. So for both of them, it should be same name. Only one option from that it can choose. Now here, once again, render this. Okay, here what is coming for us? Select is coming now. We go with the KVR followed by either male or female. Only one you can choose now. Of the two options available, you can choose only one. So that is possible with the radio button. Similarly, you can check or you can uncheck. You can go here and try to go with choosing some other language. But when you click on the submit, this gives error. Nothing happens here. Reason, we haven't written anything here. Action equal to we haven't written. So because of that, nothing is happening in that case. Okay, nothing is happening. But here, when you go with the reset, whatever data you have in that, it's getting reset. I choose everything. I choose certain things here, like in this way. Then I go with the reset. Everything is getting here reset. Reset is going to be clearing whatever data you have on the form. So like this, we created here a registration form. In that form, we have certain like input elements. Input name equal to type equal to text, input type equal to radio, then input type equal to checkbox. Okay, similarly, you have here select, it's nothing but drop down. Then you have button, two button types, one is submit, other one is here reset. So like this, we have created simple form. Into this form, you can input or you can, you can input, then you can submit or you can reset the form. When you click on the reset, what is happening? All the data, whatever you entered is getting cleared. But when you submit, it should go into server side. So like this, we created here the form. Okay.